Welcome to the deep dive. So, if you're anywhere near the world of developing new drugs or medical devices, you've definitely heard of clinical research organizations, CROs.
Hmm.
They're essential players, right? But often maybe seen just as like outsourced admin help.
Exactly. And that's really underselling them. They are much more strategic partners. I mean, the success or failure of huge multi-million-dollar trials can hinge on them.
Right.
So our goal today really is to kind of cut through the jargon surrounding the CRO industry. We want to give you a shortcut.
Okay.
We're not just defining terms. We're looking at their strategic role, the services that really matter, and importantly, how you choose the right one. The main theme drawn from our source is understanding what is a CRO, a guide to clinical research organizations.
Okay, let's unpack that then, starting with the introduction to clinical research organizations. So, what exactly is a CRO at its core?
Well, think of it like this.
Mhm.
A CRO is fundamentally an outsourced company. Yes, hired by sponsors to manage clinical trials. But the key concept here, the real value add, is this bridge function they serve. They connect the sponsor with all the different stakeholder sites, regulators, you name it.
Okay, so they're managing the trial development and making sure it meets all the rules, regulatory compliance.
Precisely. And they've changed over time. They started as single service providers, maybe just monitoring or data management. Now, many are comprehensive, full-service partners.
Got it. So that leads us nicely into the core CRO services. The list seems pretty expensive.
It really is. Core services cover things like clinical trial management, that's your protocol development, getting regulatory approvals, picking the right sites, negotiating contracts, the whole operational side.
And project management too, right? Keeping track of everything.
Yes, tracking metrics, timelines, budgets, managing other vendors involved. But one thing I really want to highlight is site feasibility.
Okay, what's that?
That's where the CRO assesses potential research sites. Do they have the right expertise? Enough patients? The necessary resources? It sounds basic, but getting this wrong, choosing a site that can't deliver.
Is a huge expensive delay.
Exactly. It's a major way to mitigate risk upfront.
Okay, that makes sense. But all that organization doesn't mean much if the trial data isn't sound, or worse, if patient safety is at risk. So, how do they handle specialized monitoring services? What's the difference between, say, just checking the paperwork and checking on the patient's well-being?
Yeah, good question. It basically comes down to two different roles, two types of monitoring. First, you have on-site monitoring.
Okay.
This is typically done by clinical research associates, CRAs. They're the boots on the ground. They do regular site visits, review timelines, check that the site is following the protocol precisely, look into any reported adverse events. Basically, the compliance and logistics checks.
Gotcha. The process police, kind of?
Sort of, yeah. Then you have medical monitoring. This is different. It focuses squarely on patient safety. Medical monitors, often physicians, review adverse events in detail, look at other medications patients are taking, analyze safety data trends. They provide that expert medical judgment when safety questions come up.
So CRAs handle the how, medical monitors handle the what in terms of patient health impacts.
That's a good way to put it.
Okay. Moving on then to data management and quality assurance. You could argue this is where the real trust is built, right? In the integrity of the data.
Absolutely. This is foundational. Under this umbrella, you've got biometric services.
And biometrics is more than just data entry.
Oh, much more. It's managing the data, designing the forms or databases to capture it correctly, applying statistical analysis to make sense of it all, and then preparing the final reports for submission.
So the statistical rigor happens here.
Yes. If the biostats are flawed, the whole trial conclusion is potentially invalid, no matter how well it was run otherwise.
Wow, okay. And quality assurance ties into that.
Directly. QA is about implementing the processes, the standard operating procedures, or SOPs, and performing quality control checks to make sure everything is done correctly and consistently. This whole piece, data management, biometrics, QA, feeds directly into regulatory compliance. It's how sponsors avoid major legal and regulatory headaches down the line.
Right. So let's talk about the different types of CROs. Our source mentions variations based on specialization or global reach. Why might a sponsor pick a smaller, maybe regional CRO over one of the giant global ones? What's the trade-off there between, say, specialization focus and global coverage?
Well, it's that classic dilemma, specialization versus scale. The large global CROs, they offer that worldwide reach. You absolutely need that for big phase 3 trials that span multiple countries,
Sure.
but they can sometimes be less flexible, maybe a bit more standardized in their approach. A smaller regional or local CRO, especially one that really focuses on a specific area like oncology or medical devices, might offer more tailored service, more flexibility.
And maybe a better cultural fit sometimes.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for smaller biotech companies that might need a more personalized high-touch approach for their early phase trials.
Okay, so given these different types, the process of how to choose the right CRO is clearly pretty critical. It sounds like more than just sending out an RFP.
Oh, absolutely. It's a strategic partnership decision, not just procurement. The source lays out roughly 4 key steps.
Okay, what are they?
First, evaluate experience.
Yeah,
You look at their track record. Have they worked in your specific therapeutic area? Do they offer any niche services you need?
makes sense. Check their CV, basically.
Pretty much. Second, assess capabilities. Can they actually do what you need? Things like complex site selection, determining the right sample size for statistical power.
Right. Then.
Third, and this is crucial, the alignment check. How do they work? Does their culture fit with yours? What are their communication styles? And of course, does the budget align? A mismatch here can cause huge friction, even if everything else looks good on paper.
Yeah, I can see that. The soft skills aspect.
Exactly. And finally, fourth, quality commitment. You need proof of a strong, ideally spotless QA and QC track record. This is non-negotiable.
Okay, so if a sponsor gets that selection right, what are the big benefits of CRO partnership? Let's summarize those.
Sure. 4 main ones stand out. First, streamlined processes. They have established systems. Second, access to specialized expertise you might not have in-house. Third, that assurance of regulatory compliance we talked about. And fourth, enhanced quality overall because they bring proven methodologies.
So efficiency, expertise, compliance, and quality.
That sums it up well, and this understanding really shapes the CRO selection process itself. It's a funnel.
How so?
You start broad with an initial assessment, just reviewing potential CROs based on their stated expertise. Then you narrow it down with a capability review, digging into the specifics of their services. Then comes the partnership evaluation, that deeper dive into budget, alignment, culture fit. And finally, the final decision, where you select the CRO that offers the best overall fit and the highest confidence in quality execution.
Right, it's a progressive filtering process.
Precisely.
Okay, so wrapping up here, the main theme is conclusion, your path to clinical trial success. This deep dive really shows that CROs aren't just vendors. They are vital strategic partners, covering the whole spectrum from deciding if a site is even feasible, all the way through to complex biometrics and ensuring quality.
Exactly. And connecting it back to the bigger picture for anyone listening who's in this space. Choosing the right CRO isn't just helpful, it's often fundamental. It's about securing that specialized expertise and nailing the regulatory compliance needed for trial success and, ultimately, for producing high-quality, reliable study results.
Okay, so let's end with a final thought for you, our listener. Considering just how complex global regulations and data management are becoming, how much do you think artificial intelligence, AI, is going to change a CRO's ability to maintain that spotless track record in quality assurance over, say, the next 5 years?
Ooh, that's a big question.
It is definitely something worth thinking about.